Welcome to the Sober and Happy podcast, where we talk about all things recovery related, how to navigate the challenges that we'll face along the way on our journey towards our best lives, and how we could go from living a life of simply just being sober to a life where we're both sober and happy. The holidays are here, a time of joy, connection, and celebration. But let's be honest, they can be one of the most challenging times for anyone in recovery. Whether this is your first sober holiday season or you've been sober for years, this season comes with unique challenges that require a thoughtful approach. Today, we're diving into practical ways to navigate the holidays, manage social pressures, and truly enjoy the season without sacrificing your sobriety. We'll also talk about how to build new traditions and handle any unexpected curveballs. So buckle up. This is going to be a great episode. Welcome back. First, I want to say happy holidays to everyone, but I also want to acknowledge that everyone listening may not be so happy that the holiday season is upon us. I know that for many people in recovery, this could be a challenging time of the year, especially if this is their first holiday season. But with a little planning and a good holiday strategy, this doesn't have to be as bad as you might fear. Let's start by talking about why the holidays could be tough for those of us in recovery. For many people, the holidays are filled with memories tied to drinking. Whether it's champagne toast on New Year's Eve, spiked eggnog at Christmas parties, or one too many at that Thanksgiving dinner. For years, alcohol may have been the center of how we celebrated or how we coped with holiday stress. And it's not just the alcohol. The holidays could bring up complicated family dynamics, unresolved emotions, financial stress, and even loneliness. These stressors can amplify cravings or temptations, especially when we're still learning to navigate life without alcohol. The good news is that these challenges don't have to define your holiday experience. With the right preparation and mindset, you could enjoy a holiday season that feels joyful and meaningful without compromising your recovery. If there's one thing that can make or break your holiday experience, it's preparation. Take a look at your calendar right now. Write down every event you're planning to attend, from family dinners to work parties. For each event, ask yourself these 3 questions. Will alcohol be present? Are there certain people or situations that might trigger you? What's your plan for handling these moments? Being proactive takes the guesswork out of the equation. For example, if you're heading to a party, bring your own non-alcoholic drinks. Sparkling water, mocktails, or even a fancy soda could help you feel included without compromising your sobriety. But do not assume there will be non-alcoholic options available for you. Even if there will be, the responsibility lies on us to make sure. So I find it better to be safe than sorry. And if you know certain situations might be triggering, like Uncle Joe's insistence that everyone takes a shot, have a plan for how you'll respond. Whether it's a polite but firm no thanks, or a prearranged signal to your support person to come over and help you escape the situation. Knowing what to expect in advance and having a prearranged plan could help you stay grounded. Speaking of Uncle Joe, boundaries will be your best friend during the holiday season. If you're worried about someone pressuring you to drink, have a conversation with them ahead of time. Let them know how important your sobriety is and how they could support you. Most people are more understanding than we expect. Sometimes all they need is a little clarity. For example, you could say something like, "Hey, I've made the decision to stop drinking because it's what's best for me. It would mean a lot if you could support me by not offering me drinks at the party." And here's the thing, you don't have to attend every event you're invited to. If a particular gathering feels too risky or too overwhelming, it's okay to say no. Prioritizing your sobriety is not selfish, it's self-care. Remember, you could always celebrate with people in other ways that feel safer and more aligned with your recovery. Now, even with all this preparation, we may still unexpectedly find ourselves in uncomfortable situations, so expect the unexpected. One particular situation sticks out for me. It was so ridiculous that I could only laugh about it now. It was my first sober Christmas, and I was excited to hear that the company I started working for didn't have the traditional after-work Christmas party where I'd have to say no to drinks all night. Instead, my department was just going to have a white elephant gift exchange in the break room. That would be safe, I thought. Boy, was I wrong. If you're unfamiliar with the White Elephant gift exchange, here's how it happens. Everybody brings a wrapped gift. Then a name is drawn, and the first person picks a gift and opens it. Then the next person could either steal a gift already opened or choose a new gift from the pile. If someone picks a gift you already opened, then you pick again. So we gathered in the break room, and my name was the first out of the hat. I could see a couple of gift bags were the ones made for bottles of wine, so I knew just to avoid them, and I should be fine. I picked a normal-looking square box, opened it up, and sure enough, it was a bottle of wine. As I did the standard practice of holding the present up so everyone could see what it was, I realized this was the first bottle of alcohol I've held in my hand since rehab, and anxiety completely took over. Only one of my coworkers knew that I was sober, and I noticed that he noticed how uncomfortable I was. Luckily, he was chosen a few spots later, showed me some mercy, and stole my gift, meaning I returned to the pile. I chose another box that didn't look alcohol-sized and sure enough, contained a bourbon set with 2 glasses. Bourbon was my go-to when I drank, so this one was even worse than the bottle of wine. As luck would have it, though, that was a coveted gift and it was quickly stolen, so I was back to the pile. Now, there was one huge box. Nobody would have bought anything that big, so everybody figured it was just some sort of prank gift and was avoiding it. But I just thought it wasn't booze, so I didn't care what was in there. I unwrapped this giant box full of packing peanuts. I reached in and I felt the touch of glass. I grabbed it and pulled it out, and it was a giant bottle of Carlos Rossi wine. If you're unfamiliar with this wine, it's a cheap bottle that only comes in gallon-sized jugs, meaning it was a gag gift. It was just an alcohol-related gag gift. It also meant that no one was stealing this, and it was all mine. I sat through the rest of the gift exchange angry. I was very resentful early in sobriety that alcohol was all around me, and I got angry whenever I felt it was shoved in my face, and this gift exchange fueled that anger. After we were done and we're all walking out to the parking lot to put our gifts away, my one coworker who knew that I was sober looked over at me and said, "Hey, do you want to throw that in my car and go grab some lunch?" During lunch, we began to laugh about the situation. There were only 5 alcohol-related gifts, 2 that were the obvious ones in the wine gift bags, and the other 3 in boxes, all of which I somehow managed to pick despite trying my hardest not to. This experience taught me one of the most valuable lessons about navigating the holiday season and my sobriety as a whole. Expect the unexpected, but more importantly, always have someone who has your back. Now, I wouldn't have ended up going home and drinking the gallon of wine if he wasn't there to support me. However, just seeing him trying to help me during the gift exchange made me feel supported. The suggestion that I toss the bottle in his car instead of temporarily hiding it in mine till I could go throw it away in secret took the pressure off of that situation for me. Also, having him help me find the irony and eventually the humor in what went down made the situation something I could laugh at instead of adding to my anger. If you have holiday events that you find especially difficult, ensure you have someone there to support you in the way you need to be supported. But even with the best plan and the best support, sometimes we find ourselves in a situation that just becomes too overwhelming. That's where an exit strategy comes into play. If possible, drive yourself to events so you could leave whenever necessary. If you're carpooling, ensure your ride understands that you might need to leave early and that your sobriety comes first. And it isn't someone who'll ask you, "Can we just stay 15 minutes longer?" And when it comes time to leave, you don't even have to make a big deal out of it. Just a simple, "Thanks for having me. I need to head out early tonight," is enough. Protecting your sobriety is always the priority, even if it means cutting an event short. So far this episode, we have talked about how to deal with alcohol at holiday parties, but that doesn't mean our holidays have to involve being around alcohol. The holidays are a great time to reinvent how you celebrate. For years, many of us made alcohol the centerpiece of our holiday traditions, but sobriety gives us a chance to build new, meaningful rituals that reflect the life we want to live. For example, instead of a boozy New Year's Eve party, why not have a game night with friends or a movie marathon? Instead of heading to a bar on Christmas Eve, you could bake cookies, drive around looking at holiday lights, or volunteer at a local charity. These new traditions could become the foundation of a holiday season that feels fulfilling and authentic without the need for alcohol. And lastly, when challenges arrive, and they will, it's crucial to stay connected to your why. Why did you choose sobriety? What does it mean to you? Take a moment to write it down. Reconnecting with your purpose can help you navigate moments of doubt or temptation. One of my favorite practices is to keep a small reminder of your why with you during the holidays. It could be a note in your wallet, a photo of a loved one, or even a quote that inspires you. When you feel tempted, take a moment to pause, reflect, and remember why this journey matters so much. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with this challenge. Take 15 minutes this week to create your holiday sobriety plan. Write down your events, your triggers, and your strategies. Think about who you could lean on for support, what non-alcoholic options you could bring, and how you'll stay connected to your why. Remember, the goal isn't just to survive the holidays, it's to enjoy them in a way that aligns with your new sober life. Thank you for listening to this episode, and I hope you're enjoying this podcast. If you are, please do me a favor and grab your phone and text one person who you think that might benefit from listening to this episode. That would mean the world to me. New episodes come out each Friday, so I look forward to connecting with you next week. And as always, thank you so much for listening and keep living sober and happy.